Good afternoon. Today, as always, very interesting information. McDonald's is an American staple. Pretty much every town has in any event one, and many have as much as 3. It's even spread and stretched out to turn into an overall brand. It's in our motion pictures, our books, the advertisements are all over. It's one of those brands that is woven into the texture of regular day-to-day existence to the point that we don't see the item arrangement any longer when it springs up in a show. It's so imbued in our way of life that it's thought of, deliberately or not, to be a protected and recognizable spot with its splendid lights, beautiful mascots, and day in and day out accessibility. Underneath that bright, safe facade, in any case, beats a similar kind of threat you can discover wherever else. And the startling chance of being murdered. The unfortunate areas beneath have all endured the deplorability of presenting an aiding of McMurder. 1. July 18 of 1984 saw one of the deadliest, most grisly shootings in American history occur in a San Isidro McDonald's. Throughout an hour and 17 minutes, James Oliver Huberty rampaged through the little eatery, killing 21 individuals and harming 20 more, with no clear thought process, and no expressed reason. Huberty spent a little over an hour inside the McDonald's, more than once terminating into bodies both living and dead, endeavoring to kill everybody in the cafe and leaving lot. Rescue laborers and cops were no exemption to the standard, as Huberty discharged upon them to the minute they crossed into the parking garage, shots pinging off the autos and shoot motors, even the ambulances. Then, as out of nowhere as it started, it was finished. As one official figured out how to get off a cautious shot and strike Huberty flawlessly focused of the chest, killing him quickly. The 20 individuals still alive inside were taken to the closest medical clinic for crisis treatment, although the McDonald's does not stand anymore. A landmark to the casualties is still shown in the town, in recognition of the 21 dead and 20 harmed in the shooting. 2. On May 7, 1992, in Halifax, Nova Scotia, 3 youngsters, Derek Wood, 18, a representative of the eatery, Freeman McNeil, 23, and Darren Muiz, 18, broke into a Halifax McDonald's in the wake of shutting with the expectation to burglarize it. Shockingly for everybody included, in any case, there were still representatives inside when the break-in occurred. James Fagan, 27, Donna Warren, 22, Arlene McNeil, 20, and Neil Burrows Jr., 29, were shutting everything down when the 3 men broke into the drive-thru eatery. The men supposedly didn't stop for a second much before drawing their weapons and opening fire. James, Donna, and Neil were killed right away. However, Arlene, who was shot in the head, made due to affirm against the men, despite the fact that she was left for all time debilitated by mind harm. The burglars at that point plundered the register, grabbing a measly $2,017. The 3 looters were gotten, indicted, and sent to jail, in spite of the fact that starting at 2020, in any event, 2 were out on parole. Muiz, who confessed to being the one to kill Fagan, was discharged on parole in 2012, and finally lives with his sweetheart in Lower British Columbia. Stable and monetarily secured, as indicated by the parole board, Freeman McNeil was granted day parole, while Wood was denied it twice on offer. 3. Mob hits are something we usually imagine to be a thing of the past. The sepia-toned 1940s, a bygone era of blood-red zoot suits, feather caps, Cadillac Series 62s, and Tommy guns. Yet, just last year, on June 18 of 2019, a mob hit was carried out in a McDonald's in the Bronx. 71-year-old Sylvester Sally Daz Zartola, alleged Bonanno crime family associate, was waiting in line for a hot, fresh cup of McDonald's coffee, when his life was ended in a rain of gunfire, and, presumably, thick New York accents screaming mafia cliches. The gunman, reported to be one Bushorn Shelton, was a member of a local gang allegedly hired by Sylvester's 41-year-old son, Anthony Zartola Sr., to kill his father in order to take control of the family business gambling. Anthony is also accused of making an attempt on the life of his brother, Salvatore Zartola, in an attempt to lure his father out, a single act in a murder plot that apparently spanned years, and included multiple attempts on his father's life, as well as sending hundreds of texts in film-themed code to his hitman. The texts repeatedly referred to Sylvester as the star, and the actor, with one allegedly reading, "Today was supposed to be the end," until the actor wanted to do his own stunts and throw it in reverse in the middle of shooting a scene and drive in the opposite direction. Anthony is currently on trial for the murder, as well as several other felonies in connection to the murder and the events preceding it. 4. Monday, August 18 of 2014, discovered Wu Shuoyan in a McDonald's in Zhaoyuan, China, with her multi-year-old child. They plunked down to eat, when a gathering of individuals, Zhang Fan, Zhang Lidong, Lu Yingchen, Zhang Hang, and Zhang Qiao, and a 12-year-old youngster, entered the McDonald's and started to preach. The gathering of 6 were from a known Christian fragment clique, the Church of Almighty God, that much of the time hold open exhibitions like this. They were generally disregarded, until, that is, they began bullying the group for their telephone numbers, so as to get in touch with them later about the church. Most surrendered their numbers, yet hesitantly, just to get the cultists to leave them in harmony. Wu, be that as it may, cannot, repelling a few endeavors to pressure her into giving over the number. So, all things considered, the cultists got disappointed, and afterward offended, and afterward infuriated. Wu was purportedly then attached to a seat, blamed for being a detestable soul, and pounded the life out of by the individuals from the clique, who hit her first with a metal mop handle and afterward, as they turned out to be increasingly angry and excited, seats, and their own uncovered hands. Wu was left so harmed that it was difficult to distinguish her body, as the clique members had additionally thumped her to the ground and trampled her face, breaking her features, when addressed. The faction individuals gave no indications of regret, guaranteeing that Wu was a malevolent soul, and that they likewise didn't fear the law nor any repercussion for their homicide, asserting that they have God on their side, and are contrary to the Great Red Dragon. Together, said Great Red Dragon is, as indicated by Chinese authorities, a purposeful anecdote for the Chinese government, to which the religion is opposed. The act was recorded on record, and the blamed captured and attempted. 5. On March 26, 2018, a McDonald's client halted into a McDonald's in Tainan City at simply past 12 p.m. for a fast chomp to eat. Completing his supper, he meandered into the restroom, just to be gone up against with something unpleasant. A washroom slowed down with a quickly growing puddle of blood spilling free from the door. The specialists were immediately called and opened the bolted slowdown to a grim sight. The carcass of a 46-year elderly person, an unfilled syringe, and a scene soaked in blood. The man, distinguished distinctly as Chu, had evidently been dead for quite a while, and was canvassed in blood from his face to his shoes. In spite of the fact that specialists couldn't affirm nor deny a homicide, the condition of the body recommended murder generally foul. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. See you soon, and don't be sick.